So a hugely disappointing qualifying 3 session after there was so much promise in the dry in Q1 and Q2, topping both sessions, and the rain just came at the wrong time. We just couldn't hook up a qualifying lap, but it's going to make for an interesting race nonetheless. Here we go. Yes guys, it's time for the race, and it's dry, luckily. After topping 2 dry qualifying sessions, we should feel reasonably confident ahead of the race, starting from 10th on the grid. Hami Alguersuari just ahead of us. Now the lights are starting to come on for the start of the Grand Prix of Hungary, and we are away for the Magyar Nadij. And yes, so we get a decent start on Alguersuari. Going to try and get him into the first corner. Not quite sure what Michael Schumacher's doing, taking a very narrow line into the first turn, and we dive it down the inside of Schumacher and hopefully Robert Kubica, but Schumacher gets a great drive off turn 1 and turn 2 as well. And now we come into turn 3, going around the outside of Robert Kubica and Michael Schumacher, but it doesn't quite work. Maybe try and get the switch back on Kubica through turn 4 and up to turn 5, I believe. It might even be turn 4, I don't know. I think I've skipped a turn somewhere, but we've gone round the outside of Kubica, still not managed to hold it, but finally going into the tight complex of the lap, where overtaking is very, very difficult. We secure 8th place, and now we're going to chase after 7 times world champion Michael Schumacher, who is in P7 at the moment, ironically. So yeah, we're chasing after him, going through this tricky middle sector, and now we're running it not quite over those curbs, and we're just going to take you through a lap of this circuit, because obviously I didn't get through one in qualifying. And now going to try maybe down the inside of Schumacher into the penultimate corner, but we go over the grass as Schumacher looked as if he may have been turning in. He didn't in the end, and now we've got to just wait for the track to grip up around this final corner before we get onto the throttle and onto the second lap of the Grand Prix. Dropped a little bit back from Schumacher, but now midway through lap 2, already our tyres are starting to go off, but we are, however, closing in on Schumacher. The leaders are way up the road, and it doesn't look as if we're going to be scoring major points today as we go around the outside of Schumacher here. That is a beautiful move, and although our tyres are going off, our overtaking skills are definitely not compromised because of this, and we're going to carry on for another lap, maybe come in at the end of lap 3, and yeah, as you can see, we've actually carried on to lap 4, but our tyres are completely gone. But we have managed to pull out a nice gap over Schumacher, and we're in P5. Hopefully these set of prime tyres should see us to the end of the race. Obviously these Bridgestone tyres are a lot harder than the Pirellis that you get on F1 2013, but now we peel off into the pit lane, just about get it in. Luckily the autopilot kicks in, and driving now into the pit lane, going to 61 miles per hour for our only pit stop of the day. Hopefully, please get us out within, like, I don't know, a minute. That'd be good. 4.6 seconds. Wow, that is very, very quick. We've been in for like 10 seconds more, I believe, at one point in the season. So we come out onto the track in 18th position, but that shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully, as we're just behind Felipe Massa, so he was a long way up, I believe. And now we're on to the end of lap 5. We should get a few more cars peeling off into the pit lane. As you can see, Michael Schumacher is leading the race, so hopefully we'll slot in ahead of him. As you can see, we're going up the field to 14th place. I think that was our teammate. No, it wasn't. But anyway, we've caught up to Felipe Massa. We've got very, very good pace on these primes, which is looking promising for the laps ahead. Hopefully they won't go away from us, as Massa really does turn into us there. Coming towards the end of lap 6, we're nearly at half race distance, but now we're going to go around the outside of Massa, maybe. A little bit of an ambitious move, maybe not twice in the race, but we get on the inside of the penultimate corner, and that is a lovely move. I believe Massa was probably held up by Lucas Di Grassi in the Virgin, but he has gone into the pit lane now for his stop. And our teammate is in the pit lane. I'm not sure about Schumacher, but hopefully we should get out ahead of him. And we are now into P8, so yeah, Schumacher still hasn't pitted. Neither is Timo Glock. He must be on the prime tyre. But now nobody pits on this lap, which is strange. So all these must be the prime runners, but we going to have to dispose of Glock as quickly as possible, because there are quite a few runners ahead of us who obviously haven't pitted yet, and we really don't want to be compromised as we go around the outside of Glock, and it still doesn't work. The AI are very, very good actually at this on this track. They are on a lot of tracks on this game. They just fight really well on the racing line, and they just seem to get a decent amount of grip, but we take him down the inside in our superior car. It's a really, really nice car to oh my god, just as I say that, oh, blow me down, I've gone and stuck it in the wall. I was just about to say it's a really nice car to handle, and I can't believe that's actually happened. We're down to P9, we've lost 2 positions to Button and Rosberg, and surely now Schumacher's going to jump us. Hopefully shouldn't hinder us too much around this track. We'll just bump the front aero up to the plus position, the up position I believe it's called on this game. But we run a little bit wide and our tyres are already going off. So just as I was singing the praises of this car, things just seem to be going from bad to a little bit worse. Webber's taken the lead and we're still in P9, so Schumacher has got the jump on us, I believe. But is that Nico Rosberg in the pit lane possibly? I'm not sure, but Jenson Button, and there's 2 cars in the pit lane I believe. So that might be Schumacher actually. No, it isn't, it's Sebastian Vettel. So he's pitted, and we're going to try and go around the outside of Button. We're up to P7 now, and if we could get up to P6 and we're effectively where we were before that crash, and we're going to try and hold it around the outside of Button, but as we know, it's very, very difficult to make a move around that corner, and our best opportunity seems to be up at turn 4, and we've got lovely drive out of here. Our tyres are really starting to wear now, but we're going to maybe try it around the outside of Button here. That would have been a superb move. We're going to try and hold it down the inside of turn 5. That is a lovely move for 6th place, and wow, that move just seemed to go on for ages. And yeah, unfortunately, that was about all that happened. Mark Webber took out the win. Our championship rival, unfortunately, has won this race. And Robert Kubica seemed to have some great pace in the second half of the race, especially. I can tell you that. But yeah, it isn't our best track. It's in fact one of the worst tracks, but it's not over yet, and we've been spun by Sebastian Vettel. We're in the wall. We've got no front wing, and Button's gone past us. Wow, all the way up to the checkered flag, and as we look on the replay, we just got taken out by Vettel. Wow, he just literally just clipped our rear tyre, and unfortunately we just have to limp home, and that is crucial points for the championship down the drain. That's 2 points lost. We've still finished ahead of Hamilton. Our driver seems to think that he's won the Drivers' Championship, but 7th place is a tad disappointing actually, after all that we'd achieved. It was an eventful race, I'll put it that way, and wow, what a race that was. Mark Webber's 37.5 seconds ahead of us. Button's mugged us at the end, and we are a long way behind Kubica, so we're kind of scratching our heads. Vettel finished 12th, which is yeah, it's kind of karma really, I guess. You know, he shouldn't have made that move, you could say, but yeah, we're 8 points behind in the Drivers' Championship. We still hold 3rd in the Constructors, just about, and now this is time for the interview pen, and a very poor lookalike of David Croft. Yeah, so I was really, really disappointed after this race, but the one thing that we actually got was to choose our rival. Now, we had 3 options, Webber, Alonso and Vettel. Now, I was thinking of doing a second season on this, sometime in the future, and I really did want to race for McLaren. Unfortunately, they weren't anywhere in the drivers, and I've already raced for Red Bull way back when on this game, so I decided to choose my rival as Fernando Alonso. You should see it in a minute when I do decide to click on it. So he's currently 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, and I believe we'll get a seat alongside him if we manage to beat him. But yeah, we've got Spa up next, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Until next time, goodbye.